Hi guys, what's going on, and welcome to Foundation. So, a little bit different from my usual Total War Arena videos, we're going to be having a look at this medieval sort of city building game. So if we just give that a pause. So if those of you who have been following my channel for quite a long time, you will know that I kind of showed an interest in this game, did like a game trailer for this game sort of like probably about 5 or 6 months ago now. And it's been continuously in development. I've been following them on Twitter, keeping an eye on how things have been going on, and we've finally hit open alpha, closed alpha actually, sorry. And I have been fortunate enough, they've given me an access copy of the game, and so here we are in the alpha testing it out, and I must say so far I've been really enjoying it. So I thought we'll just do a very casual review, as all my reviews always are, sort of a bit of a rambling review, just taking a look at some of the features, what's coming up, and what I think of the game so far. So yeah, I've been playing a couple of hours now on this city. This is sort of my second or third go. I had a few problems getting going at the start. This is not really a detailed tutorial system in place yet, and so some of the trade mechanics took me a while to work out. But the premise is, it's kind of like a similar, based a bit on like Pharaohs and Anno, and it's basically a city building game. So what are some of the features? Obviously, the bits like Anno that particularly stand out to me are like the citizen classes have different sort of classes. We have newcomers, serfs, and some of my town villagers are currently upgrading to level 3, which will make them villagers, I believe. And as you unlock sort of different ranks of citizens, it gives you access to more complex buildings, and they have more needs. So if we click on a villager list and select a villager, you'll see they have certain sets of needs: berries, water, lodgings, bread, and faith, church, that sort of thing. And if you have a happy population, you attract new people to your village. So that would put quite a high global happiness, but it's being slightly reduced by the fact we're a little short on bread, which obviously we are. So that kind of means people's happiness gets a little bit reduced. I've got 2 bakeries up and running at the moment. I think they've both got workers, they have. But obviously I've got quite a few people now, so there's quite a demand on bread, which is drawing it down. So we've built a church over here in the top corner. So perhaps this is a good feature to look at, is the monument building. So while a lot of the standard buildings, let me just show you, are just placeable, say like if I pick a windmill, you can just place a windmill. All fully, rotatable, you can put it whichever direction you want, etc, etc. And, there are lots of different bread market, farm, that sort of thing, etc, etc, fairly standard buildings. But some of the big buildings, like the monument buildings, like this, let's just pause that so I don't lose what's going on, are a lot more complicated, and you can build things how you want them to be built, which is really cool. So for example, like the church tower, if you want to think, I want a higher church tower, this can be accomplished easily enough. We can raise the height of the actual main church building. We've got various extension pieces, little I don't know what that is, could be like a nave. You've got crosses, which you can use for decorative elements, that you can put all over the buildings. Like you can put a cross, there we go, look, we can put a cross on top of there. Or we've got stained glass windows. There's all sorts basically that we can do, and that's really kind of one of the cool things I really like about this. You have a fountain, you can have all sorts. We won't do this because it's going to cost me quite a lot of gold. Well, actually, yeah, should we? Yeah, let's do it. Why not? Let's expand our church, make it look better. So yeah, and you can do this not only for churches, but there are going to be other buildings as well. Like, we haven't yet got access to it, I don't believe. Oh no, I have now. Lord Manor, which is also going to be like, your manor house, which you can build however you like. And that's something cool, so maybe have a look at that later on. So we've just reached villager status, so we've unlocked new buildings, which is obviously unlocking probably that manor. We've also got, we can see a forester's camp will come soon, road signs, a weaver's hut, and a sheep farm, so we can start to produce clothes. So these are all things that can be done, and when a house gets upgraded, it requires resources. So for example, it requires 10 planks and 10 stone. So to get planks, you have to have a sawmill, and to you need wood for the sawmill, which you've got the woodcutter's camp, which supplies that. So then we get on to the other thing that's kind of fairly distinct, I guess. It's almost like some of the old SimCity zoning, and when people first see it, I think they tend to think, oh god, what the hell is that? Which I think is kind of how I thought initially as well. You sort of think, wow, that's not very, it looks very primitive, very simple, and doesn't look particularly great, but it actually works really well. So instead of placing 100 individual houses all in a neat row like you would do on many things like Banished and things like that, you actually zone areas. So for example, we have a residential zone here, and it shows you the desirability. People want to live near the city centre, the town centre. They don't want to live off in some trees over here on their own. So it shows the desirability, and you basically can zone the area. Look, so I can just colour in this area over here. This used to be covered in trees, but we've since cut them all down. So we might as well turn it into a possible residential zone. And therefore houses can now be built in that area nice and easily. And as new people come to the town, then these areas will slowly get built on as more and more people need houses. As you can see, all these houses are currently getting upgraded because I've just unlocked the level 3 upgrade which is going on there. So on top of that, you also have to mark extraction. So rather than placing a woodcutter's camp, directly next to a forest and they just chop the nearest tree, you actually get to dictate which trees you want to be chopped and which not. As well as, here, these are like the mushrooms and berries which are getting picked by the gatherer's hut. This stone here being mined by the stonecutter's workshop. And I've purchased this piece of land here to allow me to expand, and I've just marked this as all happy to be cut down by the tree cutters. But if you had, a small patch of trees in the bottom corner that was nice and decorative, you just don't mark them for extraction, and they won't be cut down by your woodcutters. And the same also farmland. Instead of specifically building a fixed square field for your farm, you just designate an area as you want. It could be square if you wanted to. You can do it however you want, and your farmers will have this patch access to farming of them. If you don't have enough people in your farm, then they'll just do a small amount of that because they haven't got enough people to do the whole lot. So you can see they've just grown farms over here. Wheat is obviously what they're growing, I guess. And you can look and you can see, how much wheat they've produced by this farm, etc., etc. I've got 3 people working on there because I'm trying to get bread production up and running at full speed. So yes, still got need more people there. And what else is there? Roads. It's something else that's pretty cool. You don't place roads grow organically. So you can see sort of around the centre of the village, it's quite worn, quite a mud track where everyone walks. And you can see obviously everyone's regularly travelling to church. So therefore we've got kind of a worn route down here. And then we have get visited by a regular trader. We established a trade route. So you can see the path. Oh, here he comes now, look. He's worn by continually walking backwards and forwards. And so you sort of like organically generated paths rather than you placing a road, exactly where you want it. It's generated by the movements of your villagers, and the more route is used, sort of the harder impressed it gets made on the ground. And that's really cool. I like that. I think that's a nice little feature. It makes it feel like a really organic village naturally developing, which I think is what they've been trying to really go for. So we've also got things like walls, which I've never actually tried yet, but that's something that I'll be trying in the future. So you can enclose your settlement. There isn't yet any sort of like military element to the game, but that's something I think they're planning on introducing. I know the developers have also been heavily talking about one of the first things they want to get up and running is mod support, because they really want this to be sort of a community game. It's going to be sort of full mod support available very early on, as soon as we start to hit. I don't know if it will come out in alpha or if it will be beta before we start to see mod support, but that's something they're really keen to kind of push on, which I think is great. And just from a player's point of view, we're getting fresh patches at least once a day at the moment in this alpha, and often while they're just bug fixes, I think that's great. That the level of interaction between the developers and the some of the early players and testers that have got access, I think it's great that they're changing things so regularly and trying to adjust things based on feedback. I think that shows a really promising start for the game. That we're going to have this good level of interaction. So what else is there? Yes, so we have trade. I've established one trade route with this guy down here, which is obviously where that man comes from. But I can, for 20 bread, pay to unlock another trade route. And then I can sort of pick what I want to trade, buy and sell. So I've been buying some tools up to a maximum of 10, which is obviously what I've done. So now I've got those 10 tools, and I won't be buying any more until I use them. And I use them building certain buildings like bakeries and things like that, I think, uses tools. Yeah, resources needed to build 10 tools, as well as planks and stone. But planks and stone I can build myself. Currently aren't producing tools myself, so I have to trade for them. So it looks like we've got quite a bit of money. So it's a good time perhaps to demonstrate the territory. So when you first start the game, you get to pick basically one piece of land. And in it you'll have trees, stone and berries. I think that's a compulsory starting pick, so you can't just pick a piece of land like this which has just got some trees in it, because obviously you wouldn't be able to really do anything. Your people would starve. So it makes you have land which you know is obviously usable. But then after that you have to buy extra territory at cost. Now I believe territory costs 500 apiece. Yes, it does. And you can basically expand in any direction you want. Because currently you can only build within the territories that you've got, and I've got 2. But we can go anywhere we want. I'm not sure particularly. It would be kind of cool to go up on this hill, wouldn't it? So maybe we should buy this piece first. Let's buy here. Yep, there we go. So I've just spent 500 gold, and now I own this piece of land over here as well. So since you know, it's not usable really until we start to get rid of some of these trees, we might as well settle this as extractable stuff, because we might as well have people start to chop and mine all this stuff down while we can. So I'm just going to colour all this in blue to show that it's all extractable and all perfectly usable. Just like that. You can expand and shrink the size of sort of the tool, so I can make it really big, or if you want to be really precise, you can actually make it tiny like that, and you can, you know, right click to delete, or colour in a really small area. If you want to make fine adjustments, if you want to, you know, define your field boundaries really tight, something like that, then that is perfectly doable. So now we own more land, and basically that is the premise, and we can continue to build up and expand more and more. So let's have a quick look at the Lord's Hall, since we've now got that unlocked, and that's something that I've got a quest to build the Lord Manor. Where's it gone? Here we are. So, I think all things require this core part, so church core is this part of the building here, and obviously in the Lord Manor house core, it looks like this is the key sort of starting block. So how are we going to build this? Are we going to build it across the road, or would that be a bit inconvenient for the poor bloke who's trying to trade with us? So let's try and get this sort of centered how I want it there. It's a little bit sensitive at the moment, I find, for me, but that might be adjustable in the settings, so that's probably something I need to fiddle with. Let's go a little bit taller. It's increasing our cost already. We're a bit short on stone at the moment because we are upgrading all these houses, so our stone mines are working flat out. Also, obviously, we've got new people emigrating to the village. If that gets too much, which I think we're probably getting quite a few people here now, then I can just untick this box to disable immigration, and now we run a really strict immigration policy and no one's allowed in. So, what else can we do? We could build an extension, a treasury, a door. A door would be a good start, I think. Every good house needs a door. Let's just zoom in a little bit here, because I think my door isn't very central. Oh. That's kind of sensitive, isn't it? Okay, so we have a door, slightly wonky, but not too bad. You will never notice. So what else can we have? A treasury. What's that look like? Okay, cool. Let's get that pinned on there. It's going to be a tower. Oops. Oh, I've moved it. Didn't mean to do that. There we go. Got it placed, so now we can have that. Cool. So we've got a treasury. Well, we need a Lord Banner, don't we? I just place this next to it. Okay, so we've got a banner, a house, a treasury, door, chimney. Okay, we need a chimney. Oh, so we can just place that in the centre and then extend it up, I think. Oops, no, I've misclicked. Ah, so this is where things get harder. Oh no, it just fits in with the height of the building, I think. So yeah, so it just sticks out the top. I think if I increase the height of the building, yeah, the chimney rises with it. Okay, I get you. First time me learning the Lord Manor building as well, so I'm not particularly great at it. Fountain, we don't have a fountain. Decorative tree, chimney, extension A. Ooh, I see. Go on, we'll have a little bit of an extension there. Okay, so my point is there's a lot more you can do than I'm capable of doing in this sort of short video, particularly as well with the recording software. I noticed the game is quite intensive on my system at the moment, I'm finding. But obviously we're in closed alpha, so this is all going to get massively improved before we come to the actual finalized product. So running it along with sort of recording software, the microphone and the video camera and everything is making it struggle a little bit. So it's not that easy to run. Looks like our church got upgraded, or is in the process of being upgraded, which is great. I think they've got a little bit of a bug here with some of the lines. Again, all stuff that's going to get sorted. So let's go to our villager list. So how do jobs work? So basically, you get a bit of an option here when it actually comes to villagers. And no one of the complaints has been the level of possible micromanagement that's going to be required. And I think that's a valid complaint. in the sense that you can control each villager individually. If you click on, say, Agnes, she's a 20-year-old female. She's happy because she's got her needs fulfilled. And what does she do? She's a woodcutter. As we can see, she's assigned a woodcutter here. But the longer she works the job, the more experience she gets. As you can see, she's a woodcutter level 1. I think this is something that's going to be worked on a bit more, the skills level. So you can get more ranks, and that enables her to cut quicker and transport resources quicker and just fulfill whatever the needs of her job are quicker, basically. But that means you can end up with quite a lot of micromanagement in terms of managing the skills of different people along with their happiness and etc. And they're going to have traits. Look, something else that's coming soon. So there's quite a lot of individual citizen management, and I'm only quite a small village. You know, we've got 25 people, and already it sort of becomes quite a sort of mind-boggling list. So it can become quite a lot, but you don't really have to do this because you can control the citizens far easier through building controls. So it's much more easier to click on the stone mine and say we've got 5 workers assigned. But if I'm looking for workers elsewhere, I would say, oh, what have I got? You know, oh, I've got lots of berries, so we'll go to the berry workshop, also market. If I click on the right thing and go, oh, Emil no longer is needed on the berry workshop, so I'll cancel them, and that gives me 3 villagers, and then I can just go to the building I want the villager at and click to get them, you know, get them assigned there. So that's kind of an easier way of doing it, I think personally. It's nice to have option to the micromanagement, and you don't really need to use it. So I think some of the concerns around micromanaging perhaps are unnecessary, even though I can see how it can be pretty overwhelming at first. But I don't think you really need to worry about that. I would just leave it and worry about it on an individual scale. Also, look, so as I was saying earlier, when new people move in, they start to build their own houses. So like here, we're getting one of the houses constructed, which is moved in by James and Antonine, I don't know, James and his wife. But it's only level 1 at the moment because they've just moved in. But I think they're probably going to be in a fairly desirable area. We can have a look at desirability levels for residential. Yeah, they are in quite a desirable area there, look. So I think we probably can expect to see that increasing. Let's turn that off. Oh no, crest layer, clicking the wrong thing. So I think we're going to see that one getting upgraded pretty soon. Once we start to get enough stone in. Now we've got 5 people working the stone quarry. Hopefully we'll start to get more stone coming in pretty quickly. So what else have we got to look at and fiddle with? Budget. Obviously we have a financial overview, which is basically our gold up to a maximum of 500. And I wonder if that is going to increase with the construction of the Lord Manor. That's an interesting thought. Once this is built, I wonder if it's going to increase the amount of gold I can store. Hopefully it does. If not, that's something that may be added in the future. It'll be kind of a nice feature because I'm quite rapidly capping out on this 500 gold. And with it being 500 gold to buy each new territory, it'd be nice to be able to save up a little bit more, which would be cool. Oh, so these are some of the new houses. Look, we're starting to look like proper patrician type houses now. Much bigger multi-story buildings compared to like the level 1, which is just like a little hut. And this is getting upgraded to level 2 already because it's already in a desirable area. So people want to be able to upgrade quickly. So what I was going to do was assign some of these spare people I've got down here to builders. So far this is the only way I've been able to find to do this, to assign spare people as builders. And obviously I've not found a way to sort of search by profession yet, which might be something that nice could be added in the future. Because it can be quite overwhelming, particularly when it doesn't group them. So if I want to see, oh, how many builders I've got, I can see I've got 1 at the top. But then if you look down, there's another one there. So I've got 4 in total, but it's kind of a bit to look through. And hopefully that's something that's going to be sort of fiddled with and improved a bit going forwards. We've also got other things like fealty, piety, labour, and all these things that are going to affect production, happiness, and how I think you trade and interact with other lords around you. But they're not quite introduced yet, but that's something we've got to look forward to going forwards. And given the rate they're actually patching and getting things sorted, I can expect to see them pretty soon, I think. So that's going to be something good to look forward to. There's another house being built along the edge there. So hopefully we'll keep getting this stone mined. We need more stone mining. We could build another stone mine probably down here somewhere if we've got access to stone somewhere else. No, perhaps we haven't. So our Lord Manor is very slowly getting built. We've got the planks, which seem to be... Yeah, we've got enough planks, which is fine. But we're just short on stone, and we're quite short on tools as well, actually. So let's go to... no, we want to go to the trade menu, don't we? So let's head to the trade menu. And increase the number of tools that we want to be buying to, say, 25. I think it costs 30 a time, so It's going to be 300, 450, so we might go slightly negative buying all them, but I think the money will come back up quickly. Because we get money when we sell berries to the villagers, and we also get money selling bread to them. So it's 14 bread sold this week, which has generated 280, because we get obviously 20 gold per piece of bread sold. So we generate a nice income from the village, and also we can sell things if we want to sort of generate extra income. So all the houses are slowly starting to get upgraded. We just need more builders, I think. Let's bring re-enable immigration to try and get some more people starting to come in. I think our happiness is starting to drop off because of bread shortages. So let's look about how we're going to improve this. I think we've got enough wheat. I don't think that's the problem. I think it's between the mills, which is waiting for a builder over here. We've got another windmill down here because I don't think there's enough flour for the bakers to sort of show what we want. I don't know if we can see it on here. No, we're not accepting stuff like that at the warehouse. But yes, so once we get this other mill set up, I think it's just a case of waiting for everyone to catch up. The shortage of stone really kind of held everything up. And now things like this Lord's Manor that we've assigned is taking all the builders. And all the stone and everything is getting assigned to it really quickly. So it's kind of creating a bit of a shortage. We also need that trader to come back and sell us some more tools. Is he coming along the path? No, he isn't. But anyway, I didn't want to go into this to a massively long review, but hopefully it's given you sort of an initial overview to what the game's like. Happy to answer any questions anyone's got on the game. I think it's going to be really good, particularly as we continue to move forwards and do more patches to introduce not only more features, but they fix more of the bugs and start to optimize the game more and more. I think it's going to be pretty exciting. I think I've about shown you most of the sort of initial base features. Obviously it can fast forward, we can do 5 times, 2 times, 1 times, etc. All the basic sort of things that you'd expect from a game like this. But yeah, I think they've kind of been pretty innovative in some of the things they've come up with compared to sort of some of the other games like Banished and stuff that have been available and have kind of been popular. I think they have tried to be a little bit different in what is probably quite a saturated type of game. There's a lot of city builders out there, isn't there? So yeah, I think it's a good thing all in all. And the developers really seem very, very, very keen to listen to feedback from players and sort of make adjustments based on what people want or what people are expecting and cool features that people come up with for ideas. So yeah, I think we've got a lot to look forward to with this game. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel. We'll certainly be having a little bit more look at this. We might have a little bit of a Let's Play village, start with a new village and sort of play along together, see how we get on, which would be kind of cool. And we'll be having lots more Total War Arena content and other Total War games coming along in the channel shortly. So thanks for watching, guys, and I shall see you all on the next video.